Vigil tonight, starting at 5:30 at 3401 Nebraska Avenue across from AU. And Marianne Williamson, Jason Redfield, and Neil Donald Walsh will be there. And at 6 o'clock, if you're not able to be there, 6 o'clock, East 05, silent prayer all across the world will be going on simultaneously. And we do that every day for some people. Thank you.
And it's 28 minutes long.
You want to visit the hub for the next demonstration, please?
Yeah, we'll send you a copy.
I'll give you a call on Monday.
Good.
Thank you. Yeah, sure. The bombing in Iraq is gonna, this seems to be like, an American interest, not what the majority of the Americans are supporting. Like, we're gonna bomb Iraq. Exactly. All these people that have been speaking of here, it's like all these. You think of the 100 and however many people down of this. So then they go. It's just
again, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, folks. Your banner's right here. The bus is leaving. You gotta be on it right here at the Blue Dot.
Understands the situation. Understands what is going to happen if the U.S. bombs Iraq. It's going to happen. We'll support it.
Becca Byrne, your guest is here. Becca Byrne.
Who would support something like this? In my opinion, nobody.
I know the American people deep down in their heart, they wouldn't want to go in and kill women and children. That's not what the American public wants. That's not how the American public is. It's the bureaucracy, it's the government which wants to take focus away from this scandal that's really trying to get this war played up and everything. So the American people want a peaceful world. The American people want a world where children can survive and children can thrive. And this policy basically doesn't allow the Iraqi children to thrive and survive.
We're here to support our administration, which has been insulted with inadequate public opinion, public response to this crisis. We feel that we should support our administration in this period.
So how do you want to do that?
We would like the administration to adopt serious measures to end this crisis once and for all by eliminating Saddam Hussein from power, by taking away his rights.
So you think it's all Saddam's fault? I mean, you think once you've eliminated that individual that things will get better?
Yes.
Why?
With America playing a big role in the region after Saddam Hussein.
So what brought you out here today? Why are you standing with these signs? What's your...
Well, we heard there was going to be a protest against the war, and we thought that although we don't want war, that there is a reason for us going into Iraq and trying to make some changes. We're not pro-war, we're peaceful people, but we feel that some change needs to happen. And although our signs may be very harsh, we're trying to make a point that you can't just let things go on, and you can't just let this guy or the next guy roll in any country he wants to, and he's starting war.
How long has it been going on for you?
For me, I suppose maybe a year or so. I was a bit overseas a lot, so I haven't had much contact with it in America, but I suppose about a year I've been kind of looking into the issue and trying to see what could be done. I personally don't know. I couldn't tell you what we should do, but I do feel that something should be done. We should at least try to, if bombs would work, that'd be nice.
I think this is fundamentally wrong. I think that they don't really have a legitimate reason. I didn't agree that the invasion of Kuwait was really the U.S.'s was a good reason then, but I think even more so now they don't have good cause. Not responding to unstrong sectors needs to be negotiated. I do think that I don't think they need to stop trying. I don't think people need to wait for Saddam Hussein to strike. But the central hypocrisy, the heart of all of this, of course, is Israel and Israel's weapons of mass destruction. And also the fact that the arsenal has come from the West to Iraq. The chemical weapons that he used to spray the Kurds in the 80s with U.S. helicopters. have now all of a sudden become an issue when that was his problem with minorities back in the 80s. It was no one else's problem.
Okay, now you say you're with Madeline all the way.
Yes.
Madeline was asked about the effects of the sanctions and the boycott against Iraq and the fact that 500,000 Iraqi children have died as a result of this. And they asked her what she thought of that. She says, if that's what it takes, it's worth it. Okay, I call her Madeleine Albright, okay, the infanticidal hyena. And you supporting an infanticidal hyena who supports the horrible deaths of the Iraqi children, at least 500,000 over the past 6 or 7 years. And you're supporting that.
She wants to end the suffering by eliminating the problem.
Yes, eliminating the problem. The problem is right here in Washington, D.C. It's not over there.
Tyrannical rule by Saddam Hussein,
United
who does
States
not
supports
care about
Zionists
his own
everywhere in the
people.
world, as long as their economic interests coincide with are forced to coincide, where they serve the interests of U.S. imperialism. They don't give a damn about human rights.
Never have,
They never have, and they never will, because this is a capitalist government. Yeah.
What about the Shah in Iran? When did they
about
say
East
anything about the
Timor?
Shah in Iran?
We killing people.
Well, who else would you like to eliminate besides the Shah? Besides Saddam, who are the other bad people in the world?
We're talking about Iraq, specific problem which our country is facing right now. We have to support our administration and the decisions it took. We have to stand behind
whether
it.
they're right or wrong?
No, we believe it is very right to end the problem once and for all.
How many people do we have to kill before we get rid of Mr. Saddam, huh?
We have we want the government to adopt a specific policy to get rid of the man, of the leader.
They were supporting Saddam Hussein for years and years when it suited their interests. How many years were they supporting Saddam? Now they've turned against him. He's the same man. He's the same man that they supported for years and years on end. Now they
encouraging the support of Saddam Hussein. We're not saying that support that he received earlier was right. We want him to go because he is the cause of the problems in Iraq.
Kill him himself, and if they chose to, they could have killed him, but they don't want to kill him because it suits their interests to have him killed.
Well, what about that? Why haven't? If they went in before, why did they leave Saddam here? Even this time around, they want to leave Saddam.
This administration did not leave Saddam in place. It was the previous administration.
Between this administration and the other administration?
There is a difference.
No, this time around they don't plan to take Saddam out, do they? That's why there's so many people who are coming forward to say that the administration isn't doing enough.
We have a problem with the administration's lack of concrete policy on Saddam Hussein specifically. What administration is planning to do right now is to try to partially eliminate the threat of the chemical biological weapons which Iraq has. We want the administration to enforce a policy to eliminate the problem.
But you say the problem is Saddam, but you also said you're in support of the administration. The administration's policy is to leave Saddam in place.
We want the administration to adopt a new policy of eliminating Saddam Hussein.
I see.
Are you going to kill his son and his family and his friends and everyone else?
We don't want to kill Saddam. We want
to behead him. That's killing.
You kill somebody generally.
We want him out of power. We want him to lose his career.
I'm here because what the United States is doing to Iraq is unfair. There's a lot of bullying countries in this world, and they're just narrowing one. And Iraq, they don't have any power right now. Their people are dying. They're mostly kids, and America is just making it worse there. They're just torturing them, and they don't deserve it. And I'm here to protest against that. Normally, I'm a very big Clinton fan, but what he's doing right now is wrong. And
What do you think his aims are?
aims?
Yeah.
I think this is his last term, and he wants to go out with a bang, and he wants everybody to think that. He wants people to think that he's protecting America and doing all this for America. I guess not.
So you don't feel that America needs protection from Saddam Hussein?
No, America has all the protection it needs. It's the most powerful nation in the world. What more protection can they get?
That's not important.
I'm an American
Doesn't matter.
who supports his administration and who wants to see the policies sharpened and changed. to eliminate the problem once and for all. Enough of this bombing campaigns. Once in a few years we bomb Iraq, go back to policy as usual. We want it ended right now.
How are you going to end it right now?
the
What
United
method of
States is the
support do you think we should end it?
We should support the campaign and any decision which administration takes, including the military.
Why is it only the United States wants this?
The United States for now is the only power which is willing to do that.
Why?
The other powers are against this. All the other powers don't want this.
I'd say it's insane. What do you say to
Pretext
that?
the whole thing. That's what the American people should really be trying to wake up to. The pretext for all of this.
There is no pretext. The pretext is to end the problem once and for all.
Voluntary war, so people don't focus on Monica Lewinsky. So they need a war. Yes, it is.
When was the last time we bombed Iraq?
Last time, 95.
95.
Now.
I thought it was 93. When Bush was apparently going to be assassinated in Kuwait, and Clinton at 2 a.m. in the morning bombed a suburb and killed the national director of Iraqi Art Museum or something. I can't remember.
You folks in our
what was that all about?
Would you open the sidewalk up?
We would like
just give them some room to use the sidewalk, folks. Okay?
We would like an end
Move off the
to
grass
those
to one side.
bombings and to focus the bombings on eliminating the regime of Saddam Hussein, to stop and destroy his infrastructure and his support.
Just give them some room to use the sidewalk, folks. Okay?
We would like an end
Move off the
to
grass
those
to one side.
bombings and to focus the bombings on eliminating the regime of Saddam Hussein, to stop and destroy his infrastructure and his
And bombing Iraq is gonna, this seems to be like, an American interest, not what the majority of the Americans are supporting. Like, we're gonna bomb Iraq. It's exactly what all these people that have been speaking of here. It's like all these. You think of the 100 and however many people died in Oklahoma. How many people are gonna die when we invade Iraq, when we bomb Iraq? Like, there's nothing, no positive outcome is gonna overweigh anything negative that is gonna come out of this, and all the people, the babies, everything that are dying. It's just ridiculous. It's not going to help in any way. Support. It's just Clinton's administration just seems as if these are the only people that are supporting him, and obviously I think the majority of the public, and we have a great turnout here today in representation of everyone, just to show that this is no way what the American people want, and they don't want to support it.
That provides good analysis, but we should not wait for him to attack without provocation to make a counterattack. We should not wait and let him harbor these weapons and ill will until we make an attack. We should stop them before we should be proactive in the situation.
And you think that for 7 years there are people out there who say that Saddam Hussein has been more or less contained. That 95% of the ONSCOM inspections are going on. He's only had a problem with 5%, and that ONSCOM has been able to dismantle more weapons than were bombed during the first Iraq War. And since that time, he has not used those weapons. And there are a lot of people who say that what we had been doing up until now was the right thing, to put pressure on him to get rid of his weapons and warn him that if he does use them, then he'd be in trouble. Why do you suggest that we rattle with that equation?
I think he hasn't used them, but he has created them. If he had no intention to use them, they would not have been created. And that's where the threat lies.
Well, as you say, that these weapons are a poor man's nuclear weapons. So, if we get rid of the ones that are there, what's to say that he just doesn't go down to the hardware store and make some more?
That is part of exactly why we are specifically advocating removing Saddam from power, specifically Saddam Hussein.
Okay, but the policy that Clinton has is not to remove him from power. So
we're not saying that we totally, fully back Clinton's policy concerning that very issue. That's why we're out here right now. We feel that Saddam should be removed from power. We agree with many other Arab nations, such as Saudi Arabia, that Saddam should be removed from power.
That's their problem, right?
I see. And you do believe that by bombing Iraq, that will help to
I think you're twisting our words here.
No, I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
Do you believe that by bombing Iraq, that this will help to remove Saddam Hussein from power?
If it's a last resort.
The thing is, he hasn't.
We don't want war. We don't want innocent lives lost. We want to protect Arab nations and Iraqi people. And that means that we can't stop Saddam from invading other countries or manipulating other people. We have to bomb them, which would result in lives being lost. And we feel that it's a big equation here, but that in the end it might be better, would be better for Iraqi people and other Arab nations.
Read about the demonstration, so I decided to come down and check it out and, demonstrate.
So what are you concerned about?
I'm concerned about the fact that this country is no longer a democracy. It seems like they can wage war whenever they feel like it. It seems like the civilian, the mere citizen who's paying and funding for this war has no say in it. So it's really, this is our, this is going to be my future, and I don't change it now. No one will change it for me.
What do you think the Clinton administration's aims are here?
I think their aims is to get oil, and more oil. I think they just want to destroy the country, and when they're done destroying it, they can pretend to be the humanitarians that that they really are at heart, and go in there and basically pretend like they're recuperating and helping the country mend together, meanwhile taking advantage of their resources and basically exploiting the country.
I'm in solidarity with letting Saddam sell his oil to the highest bidder and feed his people.
So you would have us lift the sanctions and not bomb Iraq.
Absolutely. We've been having sanctions against Cuba for many decades. We're lifting finally the sanctions on Cuba because of public protest. Now we're here to say lift them on Iran. Children are children. Let him feed his children, and if he doesn't, if we send anything over, let's send food. And if we want to stop people in the Middle East who have arms, let's stop sending $10 billion a year to Israel.
Okay, all right.
I love you. And I love Israel, but not at the cost of war.
Okay.
Thanks.
Can I have your names, please?
My name is Winnie Gallant. I'm a part of the Peace Park Anti-Nuclear Vigil, just a support member for 15 years.
Great.
And I love you all, but war never fulfills its aims.
Thank you.
There's no way to target Saddam Hussein and leave the children alive. And if we catch Saddam, there'll be another Saddam in a minute.
Well, what do you say to these people here who say that by bombing Iraq, we would actually be saving Iraqi lives?
That would be a miracle, wouldn't it? That would be really a miracle. But the truth is that if the more we are aware he has chemical weapons and germ weapons, the less do we dare to disturb that hornet's nest. If we bomb, if we release the chemical weapons, we're going to have deaths in the lungs of our Gulf soldiers like we had it a few years back. We're going to have more sick American soldiers and just another Saddam Hussein.
Allahu Akbar. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
Receive this opinion. If we all do it, it will get, you basically burn it. Relax, okay, relax. This is a coalition, and we beg you to just step aside and let people continue the program. Why? You guys relax, okay? This is a coalition of 2,500 people, and this is what's going to get on the media. 5 people who refuse to follow the plan.
Guess what?
You're not going to dictate. I'm not dictating. I'm talking what you're not willing to do. I'm talking to them.
Everybody back up on the street. Off the sidewalk. The sidewalk is closed.
Well, we have 2,500 people here who have made a decision that it's no time to do.
Let's go this way. Bill, let's go this way.
Civil disobedience, powerful, when it's not 5 people.
That's the police officer. Temporarily down, he can write to us. Go ahead, that's it. People, united, we'll never be defeated. People, united, we'll never be defeated.
Your TV! Kill your TV! Kill your TV! Kill your TV!
That's the message we want.
Peace now.
No,
Peace now! Don't bomb Iraq! 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 Peace now!
Allahu Akbar. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر.
The reason for this is that for some foolish reason, the American people are planning to kill children in Iraq. And people came out here because they're upset about that. And if some people are upset enough to actually stand there, even when the police are there, they should be supported by those who agree with this. And I really have a problem with this. I've worked with the Peace Center here in Washington, and they should not be taking over the police function. It's up to those pigs over there to come out and say, get off the street, not her.
Right on.
I asked the gentleman back there who is in defiance of you, standing close to the White House, and allegedly, I guess, in defiance of the police. And I asked him why he was doing that and why he disagreed with you. And he said that it wasn't your job or the Peace Center's job or the organizers' job to do the work of the police. If these people feel strongly enough to defy the police, that you should therefore support them, if seeing as how you have the same cause. What do you say to that?
We formed this coalition to basically unite the people's efforts, and knowing that people try different tactics, we were really concerned about coming to the White House with a united front, and we drew hundreds and thousands here today for that purpose. We already had, these people have already been to these coalition meetings, and they had planned on being disruptive from the beginning. They were disingenuous about their intent. Just because they decide to defy the police doesn't mean that they're trying to push a certain political message other than their fuck the police attitude, which is fine for them to have, and I understand that myself. But that wasn't the reason why people came out here today, and I'll be damned if I'm going to split my energies between defending them from the police when the intention was supposed to be educating people and letting, again, the White House know about it. I don't care about the White House, but I do.
I'm Mark Bruzonsky, your host for this weekly program, Mideast Realities, and thank you for watching. If you too are concerned about the situation in today's Middle East and about U.S. policies toward that crucial region of the world, And if you'd like to meet like-minded persons, why don't you come to one of our weekly social meetings? I'll be there, of course. Just give us a call for details.